Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. Today is going to be another edition of our Offseason Outlook series, and today we're going to be looking at the Atlanta Falcons.
That's correct. We are looking at the Falcons. So what we will do first, I guess, is we'll go over their current roster, some good players, and we'll move on to what they can do with this upcoming offseason and free agency, in the draft, and other such things. So I guess we could just start with the team and some people on the team. We start at the quarterback position, like we always like to do here, or at least how I always like to do here, because, let's be honest, the quarterback is the position of the NFL. But the quarterback for this team is Matt Ryan.
You're right.
He is Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, he actually had a pretty good season to start off. He was playing pretty good, and then the Falcons kind of just slowed down as a whole. But Matt Ryan was leading the passing yards for about maybe 8 weeks in or something to begin the season, and then he kind of started slowing down with the rest of his team. And then once his team started picking up, he had a little injury for 1 week, but he was fine. They were the bye week the next week after that, and he came back and he's still playing at a pretty good level. He's got some weapons around him, obviously, with this whole team we'll talk about. But Matt Ryan, in my opinion, he is a good quarterback, an MVP-winning quarterback. So that's not to be forgotten. So Matt Ryan, he does have skill, and they're going to stick with him, no question, probably for a decent amount of time here, but especially for this year, since he's not needed to be signed back. He's still on the contract.
Yeah, and they have players, really good players, scattered around the entire roster. Of course, look at the wide receiver position. Probably, you could say, the best wide receiver duo in the NFL with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. It's definitely up there. And Devonta Freeman at the running back position has been on and off at times. We've seen him play very good, and other times not so much. Defensively, they're led by players like Grady Jarrett. This team is stacked with players, but we just haven't seen
one player.
I said led by
players like Grady Jarrett.
Anyways, they're stacked with players, and they just haven't produced in the way we've expected them to. And every offseason we sit, or we don't sit at this table, every from the beginning of our channel, you've heard us talk about the Falcons and how we think, their next year is always going to be the year because their roster is just so good. And I don't think it's anything against Dan Quinn. The players seem to like Dan Quinn. They have the players, like I mentioned, just production's not there.
Yeah, and you look at the Falcons every offseason, and as we look and say, they got a lot of talent on this roster. Watch out for them. They're another one of those teams that people always just think can go on a run. This could be their year. And this team, they were horrendous the first half of the year. They won week 2, and then they lost their next 6. So they were 1-7 after the first half of the year. And people thought that this team was going to be able to draft Chase Young and that Dan Quinn was certainly going to be heading out. And then the tide started to turn a little bit. In the second half of the season, this looked like a new football team. They beat 2 of the best teams in the NFC. They beat New Orleans and San Francisco on the road in the second half of the year. They went 6-2 in the second half of the year, including winning their last 4 games. Those 4 straight wins at the end of the season, at least I think, saved Dan Quinn's job, which kind of hints to your point. He's absolutely loved by those players, so I think it was the right decision bringing him back, but I think he will be on a shorter leash in 2020 just because of ever since the Super Bowl 51 with 2:12 left in the third quarter, this team has just gone down and down and down, and we haven't even seen anything close to that NFC champion team that we saw back in the year of Super Bowl 51. So I do like the decision to bring him back, and I know he's loved by the players, but if this team starts out really bad again, I just think you have to understand that with this roster, we got to expect results.
And you had to mention the Super Bowl, didn't you?
Well, I wasn't trying to meme it. I think it's relevant to this because they really haven't been anywhere close to that.
It was a joke.
Yeah, and now that we've kind of given you all an overview of the roster, let's talk about what they could do in the offseason to add on to it. Last year, they had 2 first-round picks, and they drafted 2 offensive linemen, which was Caleb McGarry and...
Come on.
I'll get there. Hold on.
This was the one they drafted higher.
Just had it. I know.
You don't know it?
I know it is.
I've had it before.
But it's Chris Lindstrom.
There you go. Yeah.
I had it about a couple seconds ago, and then I lost it. But yeah, those were who they decided to draft. So last year, that's where they decided to go. Whether the picks worked out or not, you have to kind of sway away from that, at least with your first-round pick. By the way, they picked 16th overall. Hold on, let me check that. Yes, 16th overall. And then they have 2 second-round picks as well, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, and a 7th round pick throughout the entire draft. But with the first round pick, Like I said, you don't want to go offensive lineman, and really the entire offense seems to be there.
Yeah.
So I think there's really not much more of an option but to go with defense, at least in my opinion. And I would say maybe you go towards the linebacker or defensive line.
Yeah.
They could go a lot of places on defense, to be honest.
That's
I think
true.
right now their defensive line was the strength of this team, especially towards the last 4
Strength
games
of
of the
their
season.
defense.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sacks put together by Grady Jarrett, all those guys. Towards the end of the season, they all started playing a lot better. Vic Beasley in on it as well, some other guys.
Yes.
So that's the thing that kind of saved the Falcons in the end of the season. Their defense started playing better, or the defensive line started playing better. But every other position, you can argue that you can go linebacker. They have Deion Jones, who's been all right, but they might want to take another guy. And then secondary as well. Their secondary, they could definitely use a cornerback, and they could definitely use some safeties as well. And for a team in division with a team like the Saints, who has to play Michael Thomas and them 2 times a year, I think it would be important to get some good cornerbacks to be able to cover. What pick do they have?
16.
16. Okay, so they definitely could go defense in one of those spots. Honestly, on a defensive position, they could easily just say, all right, we're going to take the best defensive player available at the time, maybe not defensive line. But that's a strategy that I think I could see them leaning towards going, because like we said on the offensive side of the ball, unless there's someone that is there that really fell and that they really, really like, and that if they have him on the team, that's going to be a complete game changer, I'd take offense. But I think that they're going to have to go defense on the first pick.
I do agree with you, but one thing to mention is that they said they're not going to be bringing Vic Beasley back, so
Yeah.
maybe they try and find another defensive player to replace
Exactly.
him. You know, you look at AJ Epinesa as a possibility, maybe Clavon Tyson. Yeah, that's another one. So I think there's a lot of solid defensive line prospects that they could target in the mid-round. And then, Tyler, you mentioned they had 2 second-round picks.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that they should at least take a look at taking a running back with one of those picks, because while, yes, they have some solid guys, Devonta Freeman is not as good as he once was. So I think they could get a little more depth at that position to truly complete this offense that at least should be elite.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think if you're looking at one position that they could address a little bit, it would be the running back position, because nothing against Devonta Freeman, he's done a great job of being their running back for a long time there in Atlanta, but eventually they're going to need to start to get an upgrade, because
That's true. They couldn't go running back position with the first pick.
First pick.
They could.
First round.
They really
You think
want
they
to.
take a running back that high?
I personally don't
think
see
they would,
it.
but it's a possibility.
I don't see it. I just see defense, a couple other guys I'd like to bring up. Safety, Xavier McKinney, another good one.
Well, they do
LeBron
have-
Chason.
Yeah, but they do have Keanu O'Neal. He got hurt again. He'll
Yeah,
be
but
coming.
they need someone. They need someone across from him.
That's
as
true.
well.
That's true.
They need a strong safety duo, and I think Xavier McKinney would be a good addition to that.
If you guys couldn't tell, I was charging my computer.
Yeah, but I think he's got it all.
I'm back.
All down right now.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
he's
down.
back. Okay, good.
It's down. Like, down.
Yeah, but let's talk
Like
about.
Donkey Kong.
We talked about running backs
It's
already.
like Donkey Kong.
So we look at the second round, and maybe they go cornerback, maybe they go running back. Remember, they have 2 second-round picks.
Yep.
So they could go theoretically offense and defense, but eventually I think in the second round, you can't go defense for your first 3 picks. One of those first 3 picks has got to be an offensive player. And most likely I would see it being a running back.
It's really got to be, because let's go around their offense position by position.
Let's do
Matt
that.
Ryan, pretty solid.
He's
Receiving
fine.
corps,
We're
we
good.
mentioned in the beginning, pretty solid. You have an
Unless they
argument
want
for
to get a
best
backup
duo.
guy, but they really wouldn't have no need to do that.
And tight end, Austin Hooper, great red zone threat when he's healthy. Could be a potential top 10 tight end when he's at his best. And then the offensive line they invested in a lot last year, so they're still hoping for some of those guys, young guys, to continue to develop. They did have some injuries with that position last year. So then that just leaves the running back. And if they find another running back, because again, Devonta Freeman isn't horrible by any means, I just think that he could use a little boost,
He's
a little
also
help
got some
into that
injury
position.
issues
That's
as
true.
well.
So maybe if there's a guy like J.K. Dobbins
That's
or Jonathan
exactly what I
Taylor
was gonna
somehow,
bring up,
if
J.K.
they're there in
Dobbins.
the second round.
I think
J.K.
J.K. Dobbins
yeah.
is a guy that you can
Or DeAndre Swift.
realistically see there in the second round, and it would be a steal to get him at that
Yeah.
point. I don't believe that. I think he could be up there with the first round prospects with what he saw.
Someone's
from
going to
him with
reach for a
Ohio
running
State.
back. I don't know who it's going to be,
Yeah.
but someone's going to do it.
I don't know, but there's also many other options there, but he's just the one that stands out most to me. I think we've covered the draft pretty well. Let's go to free
Draft season.
agency. I talked about some of the things they could do there. Like you said, who are they getting rid of? You mentioned
Vic
before?
Beasley. They're not bringing him back.
Yeah, so that's going to be...
Oh, was this the thing that was like? I think it was. The Falcons posted like we are not going to be signing back
Oh yeah.
Vic Beasley, and then someone asked from what source, and the Falcons responded, literally us,
Yeah.
the Falcons.
Jordan, are you fidgeting with something under the table right now? Alright, you need to stop because it's really annoying.
Sometimes you just need to fidget, bro. Bring back, what was it, 2018 with the fidget spinner?
I think that was 17.
17?
Well,
Or
yeah,
both.
blast from the past there.
Yeah.
I remember doing it in health, people doing it in health class.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
no.
know why I'm talking about this right now.
Maybe the Falcons do it in the locker room. Who knows?
It could
They
be,
might
but
fidget in there.
there's not a lot of running backs in free agency this year. So what I would expect to see from them free agent wise is go defense, and maybe go and stack up some corners like Bradley Roby or Chris Harris and see what you can get out of that.
Always the name we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've said him in I think every offseason outlet we've mentioned. There are a lot of teams that need secondary. They seem that we've done so far.
Yeah, exactly. And he's one of the best guys that's out there for it. And guys, we mentioned other ones as well, Jadeveon Clowney and Everson Griffin. Of course, those two.
You say of course a lot.
Of course, yes.
Of course he says of course a lot.
Of course I do.
I was going to wait
Defensive
for the video. I was
ends.
just getting to add to say it.
Ndamukong Suh's out there. He's kind of old, but
Of course.
of course he is, yeah.
What about Yannick Ngakoue? Is he on there?
Gaku.
Yannick
Jacksonville?
Ngakoue. I don't see him on here, but
No.
he is a free agent,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That'd be great for them. Pair him
Yeah.
and that defensive line, then you kind of open up that first round pick.
Yeah,
with someone
maybe
else.
even go out and get a linebacker like Dante Fowler Jr. That would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't be that
And that could be something they address in the draft as well.
Mhm.
You guys got anything else to say about free agents that they could go out and get?
There's a lot of players out there, and I think they really have to focus on the defensive side this offseason. Get someone to replace Vic Beasley, and then just get a little bit more depth at that running back position. And then at least, again, hypothetically, this team should be pretty decent. But they've let us down in the past. But
If they
never really know with them.
if they can get some of those defensive guys that they can trust, and you look at this team, you'd say, all right, it's pretty solid. They get another guy. They get someone in free agency at the cornerback position, maybe draft somebody at the cornerback position, find a safety in the draft or whatever. Maybe pick up another one of the best guys. You look at their defense, it would be a lot more improved. Their offense, it looks good on paper, like we always say. I do hope the Falcons have a good season. I'm a decent fan of the Falcons, I guess you could say.
I think we're all rooting for the Falcons at this stage.
Especially
Yeah.
after the struggles that they've had. And,
Yeah, they've been through a
it
lot
sucks for
since
Kyle
the
Shanahan
28-3
even more.
moment.
Yeah.
But Kyle Shanahan is having a rough time in life the past few years through
Yeah.
football. 28-3,
20 to
2010.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. But he did a great job with the Falcons, by the way. He was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the
I
key
mean, he's
reason
well
why
deserved
they
for
were
the
very
job that he
good.
got.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
a very good,
Yeah.
good mind.
Yes, he is. And the Falcons have a very good roster, so we expect to see a lot of great things this season.
Well, we always do.
We always, yeah, come on.
We always do, but we're going to continue to
Who knows?
expect
Maybe
it.
in a year might come back to this video and say how we expect it. We said we expected it again, and they just failed again. Or
Or
maybe,
maybe
we'll
they
just
did
say
it.
that's the year that they did it.
Yep.
All this stuff that we've been talking about could just be thrown out the window by Matt and his crew and say, all right, we're not going to under-exceed this year.
Yeah, but I think Falcons fans, you guys are so close to where you want to be with your team. The roster is already stacked, like we keep mentioning. So just keep
Seems
on waiting. You're almost there. I really do
Maybe.
believe that. We
Maybe.
believe that as a table.
We hope so.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below what offseason moves you think the Falcons should make. We've been getting those on other offseason outlook videos we've had, and we have a good time reading it, and we'll respond to you. And most of the time, you guys make good points and things we forget. And so yeah, that's really what I want to say about that. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you guys later.
See ya.